Leslie out here at Quonquont Farm. I hope you're having a great winter. A lot of folks ask us if we're ready to take our winter off after the harvest season, and the truth is that if you grow perennial fruit crops, there's no such thing as time off. Winter's a great time to prune your perennial fruit crops, and we've started with our apple trees, and those are finished. But now we're moving on to our blueberry bushes. And finally, we'll end up in our peach orchard. But let's talk today about pruning blueberries. At Quonquont Farm, we prune our blueberry bushes every year. Why would you prune a blueberry bush? Well, for a variety of reasons. One is to keep as much fruit growing on the bush as you can that is of good size and good flavor, and also to control disease and pest habitat in your blueberries. So the first step in understanding how to prune your blueberry bush is to understand the difference between the fruiting buds, the ones that are going to produce flower blossoms and then eventually fruit, and the buds that are really just foliage. Both of them are important, but you need to know the difference. So you've got your fruiting buds here, these little round ones, and then the more pointed ones are the leaf buds. So at Quonquont Farm, our blueberry bushes are about 50 years old. But the canes coming up on the bushes are much younger than that, and our ideal age for the canes on these bushes is no older than 6 to 8 years. The most productive canes are going to be about 3 to 4 years old. And the brand new growth, the 1-year growth that has no fruit buds and is only leaf buds, are these little red ones. And they're not going to produce fruit this year, they're going to start producing fruit in their second year. In the wintertime, we start by shoveling our bushes out, because what we want to know is where is the new growth coming from? We want to make sure the new growth is coming right out of the ground and not off of a stump. So let's talk for a second about the tools we use when we prune. We use a pretty standard pair of loppers. We also use a reciprocating saw. This is a rechargeable battery pruning blade reciprocating saw. And the reason we use this is it allows us to get into really narrow spots in the bush to cut the canes off at the ground so we don't leave stumps behind. When you leave stumps behind, you risk getting new growth out of your stumps instead of out of the ground, which makes those canes weaker and more prone to disease. Finally, you're going to finish your pruning with a little pair of hand clippers. And everybody's got their favorite pair. This is mine. And it's going to do the fine pruning on the bush to get rid of the smallest pieces of disease or overlapping branches that you don't want. So when I'm ready to prune a bush for the first time, I walk up to it and I look it over and I think, what is going on with the bush? What part of the bush might be diseased or injured by wildlife or machinery? What parts might be crossing over and rubbing on each other? And which parts are the oldest? And I'm going to take them out in that order. And what I'm really looking to do is create a vase-like shape in the bush so that the growth is upright, it's not crossing itself over, and it's letting sunlight straight down into the center of the bush so that it hits all of the fruit and helps to prevent pest damage in the bush. So on this bush, I've taken out the diseased branches, the oldest 2 canes, and some of the newest growth. And I've done some fine pruning to make sure pieces aren't overlapping, and I'm prioritizing the fruiting buds. And ultimately, sunlight is going to be able to hit all of the fruit on this bush and get all the way down to the ground to help discourage pests at the base of the plant. So the last thing you want to make sure you do is a little bit of orchard sanitation. Make sure you take all of your diseased brush out of the orchard. Hey, I'm glad to spend some time with you behind the scenes here at Quonquont Farm this winter. We're looking forward to July when we open the farm for fresh fruit and flowers and seeing you again back here at the store. In the meantime, we still have some farm fresh fruit and flower subscriptions available for sale on our website. First come, first served. Check them out. Quonquont.com. And hey, we'll see you down at the farm.